Yo, what's good, Spirit Squad? Today we're going to be delving back into a deck that we haven't touched in a while, and that's going to be Pioneer Bant Spirits. So we've been playing a lot of Mono Blue in both Pioneer and Explorer, and well, I just figured it was time to flip back to the other version of Spirits for a while. And of course, Bant's not the only other version of Spirits. You can play Azorius, or even Dimir. There's a lot of different flavors. But we're going to focus primarily on the popular ones, and today, that means Bant. So the big difference between Bant and Mono Blue, of course, is that Bant gets to play Collected Company, 4 of these, and this is going to be the only green card in the entire 75. This card's just straight up batshit insane. So a lot of the times when you flip right, a single Collected Company can turn a situation in which you were losing into a situation where you're winning just by resolving this one card. It is really crazy. But you also get to just play regular spirit stuff. So you have Mausoleum Wanderers, you have Spectral Sailors, Supreme Phantoms, Spell Quellers, all the good cards that you're used to seeing, even in formats like Modern, right? But here, because Blue-White controls one of the better decks in the format, we're going to be playing things like Selfless Spirit 3x in the main. This will also help some against decks like Rakdos Midrange, which play a shit ton of removal. We're going to play just a couple of counterspells in the main to help out with the Mausoleum Wanderers and the Spell Quellers. And unlike Mono Blue, this deck gets to play additional Lord effects. So we've got 2 copies of Empyrean Eagle in here to make sure that your power and toughness game is always on point. We're going to have 3 copies of Shacklegeist, and realistically, I wanted to put a 4th one of these in rather than one of the Selfless Spirits, but today we're going to be playing 3 and 3. We'll see how that feels over the course of our league today. And then, of course, the biggest highlight, 4 copies of Skyclave Apparition. So this card, nobody needs to be introduced to this card. It's very good. It's easily the best spirit that's been printed in, well, the entirety of Spirit's existence. And a lot of people have said that this is literally the best white card they've printed since Thalia. So that probably tells you all you need to know about Skyclave Apparition. It's insanely good, and off of a Coco, it's even better. And this will be what gives us a lot of game against permanent-based decks. So if your opponent, for example, plays like a Shieldred or a Graveyard Trespasser, just something really threatening out of Rakdos, right? Skyclave Apparition can take care of that in one go. Even if you have to discard for Graveyard Trespasser, still worth. You get to get rid of things like Arclight Phoenixes and Ledger Shredders out of the Phoenix deck. You even get to get rid of Planeswalkers like Narset and things like that out of control decks. So even when it's bad in game 1, it's not stone useless. It's still just a cool thing you can do. That's going to be our main deck. Our sideboard is going to have just a few spots of removal, a few copies of Portable Hole. We're playing 3 today. A little bit of graveyard interaction, Remorseful Cleric. And we're playing Remorseful Cleric over a card like Rest in Peace for 2 main reasons. First, it is a thing that you can get off of a Coco, and that's going to be pretty big here. You don't really want to be sacrificing creatures in your deck when you're putting in hate cards. Instead, Remorseful Cleric will give you, honestly, not great, but still existent graveyard removal in the form of a creature, which is really relevant because when your opponent's not doing anything especially important, cool, attack. And when they are, okay, get rid of it. And the biggest highlight here for sideboard cards is going to be Extraction Specialist, and I think this thing has a lot of jobs. So I'm going to be playing the full 4 of these. I do know that some pilots have chosen to play like 2 or 3 of these on top of some copies of Shaper Sanctuary against decks like Rakdos Midrange. Here we're just going to be playing a bunch of Extraction Specialists. And this card's especially good when you get to hit it off of a Coco, because now your opponent's already working to get rid of your early drops, right? Like you play a Mausoleum Wanderer, a Supreme Phantom, they got to do some work to kill these. Now you play your turn 3 play, you guys fight back and forth to keep your creatures alive or dead if you're your opponent. And then, of course, a Coco resolves. You get just insert spirit here, I don't know, say a Shacklegeist off of your Coco, but the other card is going to be an Extraction Specialist. This gets back anything that's not Lofty Denial from this column. So now your Coco is at least a 2-for-1, and if you land a single Extraction Specialist, it can be a 3-for-1 at instant speed. This interaction is really silly. The rest of our sideboard is pretty normal stuff. I've got 3 copies of Aether Gust, primarily for Mono Green Devotion, but it's got a few other jobs against like Mono Red aggro or Gruul vehicles. There's a lot of decks that Aether Gust is pretty good against right now. I even like it against Fires of Invention. You have 2 copies of Negate here, and this is going to be primarily for the Fires of Invention deck. But again, this card has other uses. You can play it against the 95 million removal spells that Rakdos plays, against the Planeswalkers and Storm to Festivals that Mono Green plays. You can even play it against the Treasure Cruises and the like that Izzet Phoenix plays. I think Negate's in a surprisingly good price right now. Thanks to us playing green pathways like Bark Channel Pathway and Branchloft Pathway, I wanted to play around the possibility of us having Island or Otawara or just Blue Pathway into Green Pathway being our first 2 land drops, which is why I'm choosing to play Negate as the much easier card to cast in those scenarios, rather than something like, say, a Dovid's Veto. For example, if I have like a Botanical Sanctum into a Blue Pathway, I can Negate all day long, but I can never cast a Dovin's Veto in that situation, which is why we decided to play it like this. And then we've got 1 copy of Mystical Dispute. This is always one of the best counterspells in Pioneer, but I think specifically Bant gets to get away without playing the full boat of Mystical Disputes because a lot of the decks that are playing blue cards are already decks that you're super strong against. Like, you play more flyers and bigger flyers than mono blue spirits, so you typically won't need too much help in that matchup between your Portable Hold and your Mystical Disputes over here. Against things like Izzet Phoenix, well, you already have cards like Remorseful Cleric, you have Negates, you have Mystical Disputes, even Portable Hold for Ledger Shredder if you want it. There's all kinds of stuff. Honestly, this entire sideboard can technically be slided in against them. I don't think we'll be doing that, but it's all applicable, right? Even Aether Gust has its uses. But Mystical Dispute, I think, is going to be a card that's very, very good for a deck like Mono Blue, and fine for Bant. So we're only going to be playing 1 of these. But that's going to be our deck. We're going to, as always, play a 5-match league, see how that goes. I will see y'all in round 1. Alright, welcome to today's Moxel puzzle, and here I want to start off with Death. Ooh, D and A are in the right place now. That's a great start. So I don't know, let's try Draco? DRA is right? Okay, look at us go. So DRA, ooh, Drain as in Drain Life? Okay. So we would know DRAN. Oh boy. So this is going to be the part where I get made fun of for not knowing probably some EDH card title. DRAN. I'm going to guess U? Dranu is neither an English word or a magic-related word. Noted. Oh, Drana. Oh god, why do I know that name? Is she a vampire lord of some sort? Yeah, I'm pretty... Hey, still at 100% by the way. I'm pretty sure Drana's some kind of vampire lord. Let's... I want to say like Drana Blood Chief or something. She's a 3-drop, 2/3 flying first strike, and when she slaps somebody, your whole team gets +1s? That sounds right? Hey, yo, we got it. So yeah, a 3-drop, 2/3 flying first strike. Whenever she slaps somebody, put a +1 counter on each attacking creature you control, not each creature you control. You know what? I'm going to take that as a W. That's the closest I think I've come to the exact text on any of these commander cards, so we take those. I'll see y'all in round 1. Right, round 1, we're on the draw, but our hand is not that bad, right? We do want a couple more lands so that it can actually just be really sweet here, but, oh, look at that, mono blue. But I think this hand's, like, acceptable, right? So I am going to play the Hallowed Fountain to just kind of get the pain over with, and let's play our Mausoleum Wanderer. So here, if they decide to go ahead and hit us with a Curious Obsession here into just, like, an attack, I think that's when I gotta let slide. But if this is just going to be this, then I'm going to go ahead and take this one. Now, here, I think I just want to play one of these here, Shacklegeists, and this will play a little bit around any copies of them having things like, Curious Obsession, because I can just tap the creature they put Curious Obsession on. If they play Curious Obsession, I tap the thing, and then they come at me with something like, say, a... Oh, well, that's not happening now. Okay, cool. But I was going to say, if they had 3 lands, and then those lands were exactly for Curious Obsession into Rattle Chains, then that would have been potentially really sweet. So here, I'm going to just Skyclave during the main phase, and I think I want to do this before I attack. So let's target this, and now if they slip out the back, I can Mausoleum Wander to counter that. And that is exactly what's going to happen. So I'm going to get rid of their Lord effect. I'm going to keep my Shacklegeist intact. And I'm still not going to attack here because I've got 3 Skyclave apparitions. I don't really need to mess around too much as long as their creatures aren't actually on the table. So these are going to be a little worrying. That's definitely true. But I think we're still mostly okay. I would prefer to see a little more low cost action, I think. Are we just pumping? We are. Okay. That's actually pretty good. So let's play you. And here I think I want to Skyclave again. I don't think I'm going to hold up the Spell Queller this turn. Geistlight Snare, you got it. So now my opponent only has 1 card left. And my biggest concern is really these 2 Faceless Havens. So if we're going to be doing it like that, then I can do this and they can activate one of the Faceless Havens now. That does tie down their mana. So that's kind of where I'm hoping to be able to take this hit for 5, untap, and potentially just start rocking things from there. And this is actually okay-ish. Emphasis on the ish. So what can I do here? I can play the Otawara as a land and double block a Faceless Haven. I think I like that better than using the bounce. Yeah, I think I like that better than using the bounce. So playing the Spell Queller is walking myself into a removal spell, but my intent here is really just gonna be to play the Spell Queller as a 2/3 flyer. But this is where a Coco would be super lovely, right? Especially if I can actually get one resolved. Well, that's not gonna be the best way to do it, but let's go ahead and try to Spell Queller it. See if this last card is a counterspell. Hopefully it's not. Sweet, it's not. And especially countering Shacklegeist is really sick for us. So I'm gonna target the Ascendant Spirit here because they've got 3 mana, so I don't want this to be a 4/4. And we are almost nearing territory where I feel comfortable. So I'm gonna definitely be happy about that. So let's 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna try to take out the Ascendant Spirit here, since that's where their mana can just go and be awesome. And what do I want to do here? I think I want to attack here. Yeah. So now if they try to flash in something to double block and get cute. All right. I was going to say then I would had the ability to go ahead and what's this? A Spectral Sailor. I will Spell Quell this, not because I actually care about the Spell Queller, but because I want to get the most use out of my card before my opponent has the ability to actually like say or do anything about it here. So now I've got 4 creatures in Shacklegeist, so I feel fairly comfortable in my ability to start tapping things. They have their own Shacklegeist. This turn that is actually fine. Okay, so no attacks from Friend Mausoleum Wanderer. Also no anything from Friend Shacklegeist, and an Empyrean Eagle. That does not suck. 1, 2, 3. So what's this? 1, 2. Nah, not quite enough. Okay. So that means I guess I'm just going to attack for 3. Yeah. So they go to 15. And assuming not too much changes with this next turn, this is pretty close to a lethal turn here. We just gotta really survive this turn, which I honestly think I'm okay with. I have more than enough flyers to block all of this, so if they try to animate Faceless Haven, I'm good there. Alright, so now let's tap this. They can okay, I was gonna say they could have responded with a tap of their own if they really wanted to, but my suspicion is that our opponent just drew a counterspell. Ooh, Spell Queller. Is that good enough to do anything here? So I can attack for 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 in the air. 12, 13, 14, 15, which means that no, this is not quite enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and attack for 6 here, leaving myself 4 creatures to use with Shacklegeist. Yeah, I'm in for that. And then my Spell Queller can lock them out of whatever this spell in their hand is, assuming they want to actually try to do something there. Hell yeah, let's go. All right, so that's game 1. Here, I just want these. I want these. I don't really want anything else here. Things that I don't care about against them include these, and I don't really want this too much. Like, it's fine. Okay, opponent takes a mull. I am certainly not going to be doing that. My hand's pretty freaking good. So I've got a couple of 1-drops that I actually want, a Portable Hole to deal with any bullshit, and a Skyclave Apparition to deal with good cards later on. So that's pretty much the entire early game checklist. So let's go ahead and play this because my intent is going to be to just resolve a Spectral Sailor here. If they cast, then I'll simply cast in response because I don't want to walk into a Mystical Dispute is what I was trying to think of. Okay, so Supreme Phantom's actually fine here because I already have the Portable Hole, so I'm not going to do anything there. Don't really feel like taking life either, so let's Portable Hole first. Boop, boop, play our 1-drop. using all of our mana nice and effectively. This is what we love to see. So now, really the only thing that I think I want and don't have is probably just like a Coco in hand, because I've got the mana for it. Well, that sucks, but okay. Do I lock? I think I'm going to simply let that slide for a turn. So this is just a 2/2, which is good for us because here I don't actually have to walk all of my mana into a Skyclave Apparition. Instead, what I can do is, yeah, I like this. So I can play Supreme Phantom. If they want to try to Geistlight Snare or something like that, sick, they didn't. I was going to say then I want that knowledge of whether they have it or not before combat starts. But as it stands, it looks like I'm just going to get to do this, and they can't flash in anything that can threaten my Wanderer. But now I've got good blocks. I've got a Spectral Sailor in hand, so if they want to try to, yeah, that was always fine. So if they want to try to do anything cute, like activating the Faceless Haven, I can flash in Spectral Sailor and double block. But here, even a Supreme Phantom is fine. A second Faceless Haven, again, is fairly obnoxious. What's your intent here? We're trying to flash in a second Supreme Phantom. So instead of letting them get away with that, oh, that was pretty sick. I'm going to just double block here. So if they have exactly a Brazen Borrower here, that's annoying, but I'm not walking into just a Supreme Phantom. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take my 3. And a Botanical Sanctum is the draw. Okay, so last card in hand. I think I'm going to test the waters against this Supreme Phantom here by doing this. If it's a Lofty Denial, I'm good. And if it's a Rattle Chains, then again, I want the knowledge of what they have before combat starts. Hell yeah. Well, that rocked pretty hard. So I guess I'll just attack with this. There's no real good profitable block they can get out of that, so free damage. Spectral Sailor is the last card. Sure, you got it. So now they don't particularly have great attacks unless the card in hand is exactly another Supreme Phantom. But if that is not the card in hand, then I guess their best route is, oh, it's not, sick. I was gonna say then I guess their best route is probably just attacking here. Draw a card, sure. And we draw a Supreme Phantom of our own. Sick. So I'm gonna play this so that we don't get Mystical Disputed. And let's play our Supreme Phantom. So now our opponent is in a super shitty spot, which is very much not my problem. And it is also no longer their problem because they're over it. Let's move on to the next round. All right, welcome to round 2. We got the die roll. Hell yeah, love to see it. And our hand is once again not bad. So I've got pretty much perfect mana, a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop that I actually want to play. Can't really ask for too much more than that, right? So let's find out what the heck our opponent's on. Urborg. Well, that's half the format. And Fatal Push seems to be the other half. So let's untap and see what we got. So, Lofty Denial. I think I'm going to actually just use this as a chance to establish this. And now, if they are like Rakdos or something, they can spend a turn on this if they want. But Castle Locthwain after Urborg. Thoughtseize. That's fine. So you can take my Lord, you can take my Rattle Chains, probably taking my Rattle Chains as a Fatal Push deck. Nope, you took my Lord. Does that mean you have another Fatal Push now? Or even like a, yeah, you do, okay. Ooh, Spell Queller. That's very good. Can we draw a land next time now? So the land ideally gives me access to both Lofty Denial and Rattle Chains. Looks like I am fighting against Rakdos. Graveyard Trespasser, absolutely not. Okay, so without the land, I can only cast Rattle Chains or Lofty Denial instead of being able to cast both. But keep it real, I'm not even mad at that. So they know about the Rattle Chains. Do they also know about Lofty? They do, okay. Thoughtseize me. Yeah, whatever, resolves. Take 2 damage. So now if they want to... Actually, there's not really a good choice here. So they could take Rattle Chains in the hopes of playing just like, I don't know, a Dreadbore and make me use my Lofty, and it looks like that might be what ends up happening here. Okay, I'm fine with that too. Okay, so if they're doing nothing, I'm doing nothing. Untap, Jackalgeist, not bad. Honestly, it's not good in this matchup at all by any stretch of the imagination. And I would still have preferred a land. But if I do get a land, I can still hold up the combination of just like threat plus counterspell. And even if the threat's not ooh, that's really good for me actually. Even if the threat sucks, they're still only at 10. Make that 8. So even like a crappy threat is still just good enough if it gets us across the finish line, right? So they're gonna play another Graveyard Trespasser. I could play another Spell Queller. That walks us into what? Nothing that I'm not already walking into by simply letting this resolve. So what happens here? They go to 9. Nah, I'm good. let's make them have all of the things. So here, if they're just holding like a Bone Crusher Giant Stomp, that's nowhere near good. Oh my god, yes, let's go. So now they already know about the Supreme Phantom, but that doesn't actually matter to me here. I'm just gonna try to, yes, sick. I was gonna say, I'm just gonna try to take him down to 2 and then make him deal with both Spell Quellers, but it looks like that's not gonna be the case. So against Rakdos, I want all of these, and I don't particularly think I want Negate unless I see exactly copies of Invoke Black. Whatever the card's called, I don't remember what the card's title is. Despair, Invoke Despair. So if I don't see that, then I don't really think I necessarily care about the negate here. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it like this, and Extraction Specialist plus Selfless Spirit is going to just hopefully be really good against the removal, because they got a shit ton of it. Well, shit, that's going back. Okay, that's a lot better. And I don't mind pitching one of these 2 Spectral Sailors, because I already don't particularly want the first one. So let's see what we're working with here. They can Thought Seize and take out one of these 2 things, but both of those are good. They could start like using Bone Crusher Giant on this Spectral Sailor and then kind of put the screws on me from there. But I think I'm still okay here. A Supreme Phantom's actually a really good draw. So that means that I actually have something I want to do on turn 2, and if they deal with it, my Extraction Specialist on 3 is just gonna look a lot better. So I'm gonna play this, make them hold 2 damage real quick. I do want to play this here, and I'm still just gonna Supreme Phantom. So I like the idea of Mausoleum Wanderer as like a good play later on. Yeah, because I just want to play like on curve as much as humanly possible here. A Braid is completely fine, of course, because we're going to get to bring our friendo back. If they want to sack this here, I'm super good with that. Aw, you sure about it? Ooh, that's good. I want to simply cast this pre-combat, and that means that my Spectral Sailor is going to be a 2/2 when it attacks, unless this is like a fatal push, but even if that is, I'm still okay here. So now they got to deal with all of this BS again. And because I've got 2 odd cards and an even card, there's not really a good... Oh, that's actually mostly fine. I can still roll into a... whatever card I was trying to think of. Skyclave Apparition to get rid of Shieldred. So like, this is actually fine. And yeah, I don't really think I need to press anything. So now Shieldred's gonna get to do its thing. They have a land. So what are we doing with it? Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I will... Yeah, I'll do this now. Because if I get to Spell Queller the Fable, then that's just like a bonus. I don't actually care about it. Oh, what the fuck was that? Ugh. I guess at least I'm not drawing the, at least I'm not drawing. Ooh, what's this? Oh, okay, there's a stomp. You got it. That sucks. Wow, that Coco was terrible. But in case anybody, ever wonders why I don't play a lot of Bant, at least now you know. My Cocos are not necessarily my friends. So this, however, is really good. I can Skyclave away the Shieldred, and I can worry about the like loot and crap later, but for now, I get to just play a bunch of good cards. So let's attack with my Lifelinker and my Spectral Sailor, and they will do that, which is fine by me. So now I'm at 11 life instead of, what was that before? 8? So like, that's not that good. But assuming nothing goes too terribly here, I'm pretty alright with the way this is looking. So if they want to start trying to attack with Den of the Bugbear, it looks like that's not happening. Okay. This can take out something up to a 4 toughness now, so they could take out my Supreme Phantom, and that's exactly what they do. Sure. I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. Okay. So now they're going to get a token. That's a 4/4. That's actually pretty unfortunate. So I get to do this, and I suppose I can attack for 3. Not a great attack if you ask me, but I don't currently have anything better. So let's go ahead and get our attack on here. And I am going to hold the island in my hand on the off chance that my opponent actually wants to cast a Thought Seize that comes off the top of their deck. As it stands, I don't really see that going too well here. Okay, so I'll just take that and go to 7. That's fine. Well, I don't know about fine, but it's going to happen. Goodbye Spectral Sailor. They don't want me drawing cards, which is, I think, a play that should have waited until next turn because they had Reflection of Kiki Jiki and they could have copied their Blood Tithe Harvester. Yeah, sure. And we immediately draw another Spectral Sailor. Noted. So here, what do I want to do? I think I just want to attack with the Selfless Spirit because now they're going to take damage off the Selfless Spirit, go to 7. And what I can do here is play Spectral Sailor, draw a card with Spectral Sailor, have this be a 2 power, and Am I just dead to that? I think I am just dead to that. So they play this, they copy it. The copy pops my Mausoleum Wanderer. I play Spectral Sailor, block 4 of the 8 attacking damage, go down to 3, draw a card, and untap into... Oh, they're just not going to do the good thing. Okay, cool. That is much better for me. So now I get to block both and take nothing unless this last card in their hand is a removal. So I'm still going to get to draw a card. My friends are indestructible, hopefully. Let's see if they both actually make it. They do both make it. And they can still copy post-combat, but now I didn't take any damage. So a Collected Company, in theory, could still be good enough to have me okay here. Yeah. Like, they could have done this pre-combat and cleared out a blocker, so I don't really like that line from opponent. They're doing the Mausoleum Wanderer. There's no way that's right. Okay, so now I am hoping to draw into a Coco. That's not it. And, oh my god, that is very much not it. Alright, so let's go to game 3. Dang, that Coco was so bad. Like, if our Coco, instead of just, like, a naked Rattle Chains, had just been almost any 2 cards, come on! I actually think... Boo! Why? What is this? What am I supposed to do with this? Oh my god. Alright, I guess. I'm just gonna keep all the lands so that any top deck is playable, but what the hell? Oh my god, I'm down to 3. I'm not down to 4. Oh my god. Oof. Well, I'm gonna keep all the lands so that I can just play anything I draw off the top. What was that? Jeez. Well, upside, their Thought Seizes are gonna be trash. So I kind of hope my opponent has a hand with just like 2 Thought Seizes. Oh, please do it. Dang it. Alright. Maybe they'll Thought Seize here. Okay, so now I have a green land. So now if my opponent's going to come at me with a Coco or something, I'm sorry, if my deck comes at me with a Coco, then that's totally reasonable for us. If they just play like a Graveyard Trespasser, Iganjo can take care of that, which is okay. But I am doing stone nothing right now. A Harvester, you got it. This, oh man, this has got to be like top 10 anime betrayals. What am I supposed to do with this nonsense of a hand? Misery Shadow, you got it. That's actually okay. All right, so I will go ahead and Iganjo this thing, and I would still really love to just see a top deck Coco here so that my hand can actually... Nope. Okay, understood. Oh, this is exactly what I was looking for when we wanted to play a match here. We wanted to immediately mull to 3 and then literally draw nothing but lands for the entire match. Love it. Or game, not match. Okay, Bone Crusher Giant, you got it. Oh, look, a Rattle Chains. So Rattle Chains, of course, you know, needs a friend, but oh, there's an extinction event. Okay, so we did try to play around that earlier in the other game too here, but I'm fairly convinced that we're just not going to really get a friend for Rattle Chains. So I'm going to take at least 6, definitely 6. Okay. All right, fuck this. Let's move on to the next round. Hey, thanks for being here. If you're having a good time with today's content, make sure to click like on the video and let me know. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you want to further show your support, check out the Patreon, which will be in the video description and in today's pinned comment. In the Patreon, you'll get all kinds of extra benefits, including access to articles, sideboard guides, personalized coaching, and the ability to submit your deck to be played on this channel. Thanks for being here. Let's move on to the next round. All right, we on round 3. We on the play. That's nice. Oh my god. Yo, bruh. Come on, man. We just did this last match. Y'all think I'm joking when I say the Bant deck does not like me. I don't mean I don't like Bant. I mean exactly what I said. This deck this deck does not like me. Okay, fine. So ship and I guess ship. Yeah, all right. Oh god, I'm at 4 now. I guess. Like, I swear this deck just like wants to see me lose. And recruitment officer, so we're against humans. So I'm not going to go so far as to say that I'm like sad about the hand we kept or any nonsense like that, but I am going to go and say that I'm a little medium upset we didn't keep the Skyclave Apparition. Granted, I can't cast it right now anyway, but it would have been nice. I mean, also 7 cards would have been nice, so there's also that, but you know, what can you do? So what do I want to do here? ideally I want to draw land and be able to cast Spell Queller, both as a 2/3 and as a foil to any Brutal Cathars coming off of their turn 3, since I'm on to play. Thali's Lieutenant, so this can be a 3/2, and I will block this. No, I won't. I already have that, so I guess I'm just gonna start the attack here. So what happens here? Ideally, I get to Spell Quell something pre-combat, and that something, I don't know, is like a Luminarch Aspirant or something equally important, right? Not that they have a third land, maybe a Brutal Cathar, but I'll settle for just Spell Queller empty blocking a Thali's Lieutenant, and if it has to eat a Brutal Cathar post-combat, then honestly so be it, but I will take my free block where I can get it. Oh, Iganjo. Yeah, you can be indestructible. Alright, die Thali's Lieutenant. Oh, that's pretty good. So now I can do this, attack for 3, and I'm still not exactly the happiest about the idea of a Brutal Cathar coming down, but I can't really do anything about that anyway, so let's just see what happens. Extraction Specialist getting their Thali's Lieutenant back. Annoying. And honestly, the Lieutenant's not the most annoying part. The fact that this thing has lifelink is. So here I would like to draw, what, a Shacklegeist? Definitely not another land. Okay, so I attack for 3, 6, they go to 9, back up to 13. I take 8 and go to 5. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, crap. Did I just not attack? Oops. Alright, well, that's what happened. So I guess Spell Queller can block Extraction Specialist, barring another pump then. Not what I wanted to do, but I guess it's an available option to stop the life linking. Oh, man. Alright, let's just move to game 2. Jeez. Alright. So here I want these guys. Actually, I don't really want these, and Shacklegeist is pretty bad if I'm being. So I do want these, but I don't want all of them. Yeah, I'm good with this. So the reason I don't really want Shacklegeist here is because it just, well, can't block on its own. And when both of your, you and your opponent are trying to just like attack each other as much as possible, right? You really don't want to have to devote 2 creatures to one of their creatures in a deck that's looking to go wide. That's a lot better against decks that are looking to kind of go tall with one big creature rather than like 55 little creatures. And against 55 little creatures, you just can't afford to spend that kind of resource, 2 creatures for their 1. So Shacklegeist is unfortunately not at its best in this matchup. So here I do, provided I see a land, have a not bad curve, right? Like I can go Supreme Phantom or Selfless Spirit into this Spell Queller here, and since we saw Kythian, I will give myself the chance, oops, I should probably tap for blue, to block it efficiently like this. So if they come up with a plus effect like Lieutenant, Luminarch Aspirant, whatever, I guess that plays, then sure, their attack's going to get through, but at least I got to make them have it. So here I want to have Spell Queller up so that this way I can, of course, threaten a good block on here, but also get rid of anything that comes in pre-combat like that. And not the best or most optimal card I ever want to use a Spell Queller on, but the body's still there, Kythian is still threatened, they're not attacking, and now I get to untap into the Land of Coco. So if my opponent's going to be stuck on lands, then I don't really feel bad after the way our last couple of games have gone. Like, I just sincerely do not give a shit. Like, my opponent, they'll be alright. So I will show off the Collected Company because it's not like it's a secret that I have it. So let's cast this, see what I can spin. Skyclave and Supreme Phantom, don't mind if I do. I don't mind doing Skyclave now since I don't have to worry about, okay, they're off it. So I was going to get rid of the Portable Hole, get my other Lord back, life is really good, etc. But if their only land up is Mutavault, that's really when you want to play your removal effects because it's not like they can tap for Brave the Element. So I do like doing that in there. But a game 3 on the draw is going to be pretty difficult. So yeah, fingers crossed. Game 3's here. This hand is actually not bad. So one of my Skyclave apparitions, of course, could be very susceptible to a Brave the Elements, but here I think I'm still fairly okay with this, and that land was actually pretty sweet. So now I get to go this land into this land as a white source, into this as a green source for any future Cocos, and I'm pretty okay with that. So I get to untap here. A Spectral Sailor is not really what I wanted. So I'm just going to be mana efficient and play my friend here. So what happens here? I can go ahead and get a block in, which is not bad. If they go to Brutal Cathar, myself a Spirit, I am going to Extraction Specialist after sacrificing this. And it looks like that is exactly what's going to happen. So I'm going to get rid of this. They can go ahead and attack me for 2. I cry about that. And then I can choose between Skyclave Apparition at Brutal Cathar or Extraction Specialist to get my friend back, I think I'm actually going to just take the 2-for-1 with my lifelink. Actually, no, that's false. Let's think about that. No, because if I don't do this, then both of these guys are going to get training counters and they're going to be impossible to block and life's not very fun after that. So yeah, I think this is going to be the better option. So here that's actually fine. Give me a land. That is almost the exact opposite of a land deck. So I'm going to Skyclave Apparition and get rid of Adeline as well. So once again, deck, I am asking you for a land. Brutal Cathar, that's going to suck. So now Brutal Cathar on my Skyclave can get rid of Adeline's one. So now they get to get a 3/3. And these are threatening to be come on. No love. Okay. What do I want to do here then? I think I'm just going to Extraction Specialist back to Selfless Spirit. So now I've got some fairly profitable blocks, which is really nice. And my Specialist having lifelink can potentially be really good. I do want to make sure to note that this is blue, which means it is not protected by whatever that stupid white card is, Brave the Elements. So these are going to become 2/3s. I will block here, question mark? Do I even want to block those? No. What am I walking into if I block this? So if I block, then I should have done it in a Declare Attackers. Damn. I could have popped the Selfless Spirit in Declare Attackers before blockers to play around them having a second copy of Iganjo. I didn't do that because I saw one, but these decks can just play more than one. So I'm actually just going to do this and then this. Okay. And it looks like they didn't end up having the second copy of Iganjo, but I could have played around that a lot better. So if they don't, okay, never mind. There's nothing to get, but they still have a lifelinker. Okay. Can we see a land? We can see a land. Okay. Thank you, deck. Glad to know that you're so accommodating. So what do I want to do here? I think I want to just attack with my lifelinker, right? I could also simply play my Selfless Spirit. I actually think I kind of like that because that denies the flip and I still have 2 blue cards that I can deploy here. So let's do that. I also don't even mind attacking here. Okay, sweet. So I'm going to do this and my Spectral Sailor can be a pump spell for my Mausoleum Wanderer. So if they want to try to get cute and attack with like Brutal Cathar, for example, I've got a pretty decent block lined up on them. If they just attack with these, then like, honestly, I think that's kind of whatever. I will also block Mausoleum Wanderer onto Extraction Specialist if that comes up. But so far, I'm pretty happy with the idea of me just getting to play Spectral Sailor, untap, and just immediately run out Coco. I like that idea, especially if I see another Specialist. Another lifelinker is going to look pretty sweet. Getting back Selfless Spirit in this combat game here is going to look pretty nice too. So there's a lot of options currently available, which I do like. Attacking with all of those, so these are going to get training counters. Okay, so what do I want to do here? I want to Spectral Sailor, and that pump's gonna be fine. I'm gonna learn my mistake from last time. This plays again around things like Iganjo. Okay, I was gonna say now's the time to cast a copy of Brave the Elements to deny my blocks if they had it, but it looks like that's not gonna be a thing that happens. So Extraction Specialist is gonna die. I'm gonna take 3. And what happens here when I get to untap? Also, are you going to be a 3/3 first striker? No, you are going to cast a spell. Okay. And Kithian, you got it. So now I want my Coco to hit like another Skyclave. Oh no, what are you getting rid of? Oh, just a Mausoleum. That's actually fine. It could be a lot worse than that. What do I want to do here? I think I just want a Coco now. Yeah, I am going to Coco now. So I want to know first, Skyclave and a Selfless Spirit? Don't mind if I do. All right, that's really sweet for me, actually. So Skyclave, get rid of Brutal Cathar, get me back my other Skyclave. Skyclave, get rid of, I guess, one of these Hopeful Initiates. And now I get to just swing for the fences, right? So if they want to start blocking these things, then I've got the Selfless Spirit already on deck. My lifelink game's currently on point, so I don't really have a lot to be sad about currently. The opponent says this has to be a joke. I mean, I laughed. But go ahead, opponent. Opponent said, I'm getting punked. I mean, you might be. That reminds me, speaking of punked. So while we're waiting on our opponent to do something and take their turn, right? Yo, did y'all see on, I think I saw it on Twitter or something like that, where apparently Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher just like don't fully shower? Apparently they do the thing where they don't wash their legs because they soap, quote, the important parts and just let water and gravity be good enough at washing their legs? I will not pretend to understand that. It is, that sounds like one of the grossest things I've ever heard in my entire life. But yeah, that was just like a thing I randomly remember seeing on the internet at some point, and the part of my brain that knows my mom would have like kicked my ass as a child if I ever decided to do some nonsense like that. Kithian? No, I'm just going to take the 2. I'm not doing anything about that. So now I get to untap here. Extraction Specialist again. Man, my opponent's going to be pissed. Mausoleum Wander. Do I just want to play Empyrean Eagle here, though? I think I actually do just want to play Empyrean Eagle. So I've got my flyers and my Selfless Spirit and my Spectral Sailor here. I don't particularly want to walk into any BS, so I'll just put them on a 2-turn clock, attack them down to 7 here. Yeah, like, this is more than good enough currently. All right, and that's going to be 2-1. Let's move on to the next round. Here, welcome to round 4. We've got perfect mana with our 2 lands, so I will keep what's happening here. Opponent's taking a mold down to 6, which means hopefully our luck is turning around in this league. Is that a thing? I hope so. Mulligan to 5. Can relate, opponent. I'm sorry. All right. So now let's see what our opponent is up to with their 5 cards here. River Glide Pathway. So it's probably just Phoenix, which actually means our opponent's gonna be pretty good at unmulliganing themselves, because like the deck that can play Treasure Cruise is not exactly gonna be the saddest about a mulligan, because they can just like deal, especially if this is just like a Ledger Shredder, and it is. Another land is actively great, so I want to play you as blue, and I'm gonna just resolve my Shacklegeist. I could have had the potential combat trick of going Mausoleum Wanderer into Spectral Sailor to make you a 3/3, but remember, this thing's going to connive, so that's not good enough against a 2/4 blocker. But here, I can just go ahead, tap the Ledger Shredder, and then untap and kind of move about my business. If they play Pieces of the Puzzle here, I will counterspell that. Looks like they are not playing Pieces of the Puzzle, or at least not this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and tap that and then cry about my Shacklegeist dying. Nope. Okay, I was going to say, do you have like an Opt or a Consider or something like that? But I guess the answer is no. So I'm going to be content to just potentially Spell Quell something, and then I can untap and really just kind of go from there. So let's see what, if anything, they want to cast here. If it is a second copy of Ledger Shredder, I will be all the happier to Spell Quell that. Okay, nothing doing there. We're not going to attack. I will still just play the Spell Queller though. I simply don't wish to waste my turn effectively. I want to make sure I'm using all of my mana. And if I draw another copy of Spell Queller, me playing this first one potentially masks the fact that I could have a second one, or they could play around a second one here, thinking that, oh, I just wasted this one because I have 2. Lightning Axe, discarding Spell Pierce, you got it. And that's another thing I'm pretty good with happening there. So let's just play this. And once again, I'm not going to let them connive, at least not, of my own volition. If they play 2 spells, then whatever it is, what it is. So now let's see what I can get before coming up with some kind of Lord. That's what I really want. I really want just like a Lord effect. Not exactly what I asked for, deck, but also not terrible. So I can just get away with drawing with Spectral Sailor from here, and they're going to need 2 removal spells to actually do anything about it because I've got my Selfless Spirit. So I want to be a little more proactive than I currently am being, because stuff like this can just, kill me from 20. But currently, not exactly the saddest about our life scenario here. Otawara! That's a good draw. So here I'm just going to resolve my Selfless Spirit, and now I can threaten either Otawara or draw a card. And I'm honestly kind of in for either route. So let's see what happens with this next turn from our opponent. Also, 2 Selfless Spirits is pretty good here. So here, do I want to bounce or do I want to just draw a million cards? I think I actually want to bounce now. So if I bounce and untap and immediately draw a Lord or something else I just want to cast, I can deny a connive. What's this? Opponent is Spikefield Hazard. This is not a match. What are we looking to play? Just Treasure Cruise? I think I do want to keep it alive because of Treasure Cruise. So let's go ahead and just do this. All right, so like Ledger Shredder's gone now. I can, hey, remember that time we specifically mentioned potentially drawing a Lord? Okay, Magic the Gathering, I see you out here. So now I'm just going to start resolving multiple spells in a turn before my opponent can do anything like Conniving. They take 9 to the dome, go to 8, and now one Ledger Shredder is going to be nowhere near good enough to protect against all of this. Hell yeah. I love it when a plan comes together and they're going to consider. Got it. So now they get to try to make this thing a 2/4 to potentially block against all of the bullshit that I'm trying to come at them with. If they see another land and 2 of their 3 cards are, never mind. I was going to say in 2 of the 3 cards are 1-drops, they could have potentially come at me with, oh, that's not bad. What I for lands? 6? Okay. What can you block here? And then still take 8? Yeah, alright. I'm in for that. So they block the Selfless Spirit, I played a Spell Queller, and I get to pump my Mausoleum Wanderers, but also I get the upside of being able to sack the Selfless Spirit that's blocked to protect the Mausoleum Wanderers from any counter spells. I'm sorry, any removal spells. So that's going to be our game 1. Good stuff to us there. So we want Portable Holes, I want Negate and Dispute. I don't want to overboard for this matchup. I don't want the Lofties. Here they are. I also don't really want Spell Queller here. Actually, Shackle Guys. No, Spell Queller. So Spell Queller specifically is like pretty mid in this matchup because, well, your opponent's going to be playing stuff like Strangle and Fiery Impulse and Lightning Axe, and unlocking spells from Spell Queller is incredibly easy for this deck. So I just don't really want to walk into that bit of shenanigans, right? I could also put in Extraction Specialist over Empyrean Eagle to get back things like Remorseful Cleric and or Selfless Spirit, and I think that's an okay line. This is fine. So I get to go Mausoleum Wanderer into Selfless Spirit / Rattle Chains or Shackle Geist, depending on what they play. So I've got quite a few options. That's always a great start. And if I get to come up with, like, say, a Portable Hole or something too, then that'll also feel pretty good about their Spell Queller. I'm sorry, their Ledger Shredder. So if that were to happen, I can, for example, play this as a white land, Portable Hole, their Ledger Shredder, play Spectral Sailor, and then just like start getting decent attacks in. I think my opponent has a Spikefield Hazard. It looks like they were considering what to do with a card, and that is exactly what happened. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the graveyard. I know that I didn't put Extraction Specialist in this game, but just good habits anyway when I am playing cards like that. But also, I want to just make sure, actually, what am I doing? You are a green source. I want to play, actually, I think I just want to play Supreme Phantom. Yeah, so Supreme Phantom is the only card that plays around a Fiery Impulse right now. So if they want to Fiery Impulse this, for example, they have to play another spell first. Yeah, a Braid. Okay, so now they've used all of their mana getting rid of that, which is kind of what I wanted the entire time. So here I'm just going to play Shackle Geist, and this one will die to just like a 1-mana removal spell, but I just want to run my opponent out of removal spells anyway. But also, I don't really care about Shacklegeist as much as the other cards. Like Spectral Sailor, I care about a lot less than Shacklegeist, but I kind of need a 3rd land before doing anything with that. Chart a Course, discarding a Phoenix, that's pretty good for them. Oh, okay, cool. So now I get to Mausoleum Wanderer, and my poor opponent seems to be stuck on a land here, so that's not great for them. But I am currently of the opinion that that's not my problem. So if they play Land Chart or Land Pierce or pieces, I will be using a Mausoleum Wanderer to get rid of those spells. Spectral Sailor can also just be a pump spell. So Mausoleum Wanderer goes from being a 4 spike into a Spell Pierce. So if that is a thing that needs to be put into action here, then so be it. If they use this on this now, that's fine. Oh, less fine. Boo. Okay, fine. So not much I could have done about that. What can I draw here? A Portable Hole. Keep it real, a little late, but I suppose it's what we had. So let's just play our Selfless Spirit now. So now I can Selfless Spirit, play the Spectral Sailor. I kind of hope they do play a creature here. Damn. I wanted to take care of that with the Mausoleum Wanderer last turn, but now I need to pay attention because they've got 2 Phoenixes in here, and my Clerics are still down here. Okay. So in theory, next turn they could, oh, that looks like a Treasure Cruise. If they want to cast Treasure Cruise, they have to get rid of 1 Phoenix, and it looks like that's exactly what happened. Okay. So they have a full boat of cards again. But at least now I get to be on the attack. I've got, oh, you're a little late, but I'm still pretty okay with that. So I kind of want them to try playing like a Thing in the Ice or a Ledger Shredder here so that I can actually have use for my Portable Hole. Oh, well, thank you for being so accommodating. Who knew our opponents were such nice people? I'm not doing anything about Consider. You can just have that. Down goes Pieces and a Spiral Bluff Canal. got it. A Coco is not exactly useful until I see another land, but let's be real, I definitely want it. So now let's get our attack on here. They go down to 9. I've got Rattle Chains and Negate, so I'm fairly protected against a lot of things. Not everything, but a lot of things. Hall of Storm Giants, you got it. Give me a land. That'd be lovely. Instead of a land, how about I get a spell I actually can't cast? Awesome. Insert complaint about Pioneer's mana here. And I suppose, to be fair, I could have played you as a white source and then worried about a green source later, but that's not what we chose to do, so oh well. Ooh. Alright, well, let's, I guess, not allow that to happen. Oh no, it's a mystical dispute. It is. Boo. Alright, so unfortunately for us, that means they are going to get their Ledger Shredder back. Ugh. Now I'm even sadder about not having the white source, right? So they get to block my Selfless Spirit, take 2, go to 7. And I can't really do anything about that, so I guess I just cry until I can see another land is pretty much what's going to keep happening here. And a Fiery Impulse. Okay, so we are looking a little bit sad times. That's kind of where we're at right now. There's a pieces. Oh god. Another Phoenix, Fiery Impulse, Treasure Cruise. Okay, game 3. That's pretty bad. So what do I want to do here? I'm gonna take out these, play these, and I want the Extraction Specialists now, especially being on the play. So I get to just basically do this. Yeah, this feels great. So I still want the, I'm gonna take this out for one more. Yeah, because Extraction Specialist getting back Remorseful Cleric against this deck is pretty OP as far as lines go. And Spectral Sailor, yeah, I think Spectral Sailor's kind of mid. So I'm fairly happy with this. Okay, we're on the play, and our hand is fine. Could be better, could be worse. Actually, could be a lot worse. Okay, so do I play around Mystical Dispute? Yes. Or Fiery Impulse? No. Impulse, yeah, you got it. So now if they play a Ledger Shredder, I get to untap Portable Hole Supreme Phantom. That's not a bad start at all. So I want you to be a white source. And if you are simply walking me into a Mystical Dispute, I think I'm actually okay-ish with that. Heavy emphasis on the ish. Opt could also just like power up another one of these. So if that's what's happening, I can't do shit about it. And it looks like that's not what's happening. Okay. Dumping a Spire Bluff Canal. You got it. So we're pretty close to Treasure Cruise territory. Another Consider will just do it, so that's pretty good. But honestly, I'm okay with that right now because they already have 6 cards. So if they're just gonna do a little extra work and turn like 5 cards into 8, then I don't think I care. Here I think I want to just play another one of these, see if they have a Fiery Impulse or an Abrade. It looks like the answer is no. So now I am not anywhere near actually being immune, but most of their damage space removal is going to have no effect on 2 4s. Everything generally needs to be 3 toughness or less, unless they're playing exactly Lightning Axe. What are you? Just a Phoenix? You got it. And a Phoenix by itself, I currently don't care. Although, I still want cards that are not lands. Like, a Coco would have been fucking excellent there. We are just casting a second Phoenix. You got it. So, are we attacking or are we blocking? We are blocking. So, I'm actually okay with that, because I already have an Iganjo. So, it's about to get real embarrassing if you try to double block. And of course, why would they not try to double block? So it's just going to look really good for Iganjo here. Yeah. And of course, the Phoenixes can come back. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to at least be able to hopefully power out some pretty good attacks while they spend a lot of their mana and or resources just trying to get Phoenixes back on defense mode. If I can untap and spin something good, like a Coco is good, another Supreme Phantom is like fine, Lightning Axe is not. Discarding Hall of Storm Giants. Okay. Steam Vents. Untapped Steam Vents. Does that mean we're casting Treasure Cruise now? What are we doing? Brotherhood's End. Oh, piss off, opponent. Alright, that sucks. But that was kind of the entire point of us trying to get into 2 3s earlier. I'm sorry, 2 4s earlier, because they get to evade. What? They just, oh, okay. So was that spell 3 then? What did I miss? Is Lightning Axe the first spell? Lightning Axe is 1, Brotherhood's End is 2, Consider is 3. Ah, okay. So they're just reviving these Phoenixes now. Okay. Oh, come on. Seriously? And if you're going to do that, why not just cast a Fiery Impulse instead? So that's super fucking unfortunate. Wow, that was really good from... Oh, no, not like this. Oh, boy. We're screwed. And the Portable Hole, I understand, could have just been, like, another card. But, like, Ledger Shredder early is pretty devastating to have to deal with. So now, looks like we're just gonna go to 1. Well, that fucking sucks. So, oh man, we are, and it's yet another land. All right, we got it. Let's move on to the last round. All right, on the die roll for the last round, we get it, which is nice. And hopefully our hand is as well. It's playable. Against Keruga deck. Okay. Well, I'm actually pretty okay with most of this hand against the Keruga deck because A, I've got Selfless Spirit to play around things like, say, Bone Crusher Giant and friends, but also Skyclave Apparition can help against temporary lockdown, which is nice. So that hopefully deletes like their entire turn 3, and I get to just do a bunch of attacking until then. So that's our current goal. So I can just go ahead and play this, and yeah. All right, I'm in for this. So what do we beat and not beat against non-white colors? Rattle Chains, that's a good one. So here if they want to like, I don't know, touch the Spirit Realm or something, I'm pretty okay with that. And they can't cast Lockdown, which is nice. A white source enables Leyline Binding since they have 4 basic land types right now. And realistically, they could have cast it for 2, just, you know, none of their... Oh, and there's the Stomp. So here I'm gonna just Rattle Chains it out. All right, leave my nice things alone. Damn. I was going to say, let's draw a Coco now. But no, that is not what happened here. So now I get to just go ahead and attack. If they resolve a fires, I get to Skyclave Apparition it, I guess. Oh, wait, duh. They only have 2 lands. Duh. Never mind. All right, they're off it. So that was kind of a much needed win after that last game, right? So here, let's put in negates. And do I want Aether Gust here? I'm going to put in 1 Aether Gust, mostly because I really don't want Shacklegeist in this matchup. So negates and Aether Gusts, yeah, I think that's all I want. So Aether Gust can get rid of both Fires of Invention and Enigmatic Incarnation, which is nice. It can also get rid of Keruga, because Keruga is green. This is a lot better. And I'll put back one of these Empyrean Eagles. Yeah, but I would still really love to see some early drops. Thank you. All right. That is an early drop. Not that I'm going to sit here and pretend that Spectral Sailor is fantastic, but I do need to win this game by attacking, and attacking early is kind of my entire thing right now. So no upkeep spell. Okay. Do I want to Supreme Phantom potentially walk this into a Bone Crusher Giant? Yes. I don't want to waste my mana, but I do want the better attack in case they don't have it. And if the thing they have is simply, I don't know, touch the Spirit Realm or some nonsense like that, then I'm okay. And it looks like none of the above is happening. So if they just want to like untap temporary lockdown, then that opens me up into being able to play things like Skyclave Apparition, and that is what they have. Okay, that's fine, you got it. So let's play this, pass, and hold up what is a fairly obvious Spell Queller, but Aether Gust to kind of back up, I think is okay. They're just casting Bone Crusher Giant. I do need to establish a board. I am going to establish a board. So let's go ahead and just Spell Queller that rather than casting Aether Gust at it. That is not a good draw. I have unfriendly words to use about that. So let's go ahead here, do that. So now what can they do? They can bounce with Colossal Sky Turtle, which I can't do anything about. What's this? Oh, okay, that's fine. Just hard casting another one of those. So I'm gonna just go ahead and attack for 5 here. They go down to 8. Play this. I'm not gonna play around a potential Mystical Dispute with my Aether Gust. I think I'm just gonna take the 4 and call this shit a day. Oh, well, that's still bad. But let's go ahead and attack for 5 again. What's this? Okay, so there's a Leyline Binding. I can't do anything about that, so you got it. So they take that, go to 6, and I still don't think I have any problem with this currently, because like my Iganjo's actually going to get some use by getting whatever one of these Bone Crusher Giants. I'll end up taking 5 going to 9, and that's still more than a 2-turn clock. So wait a minute. Yeah, 5, because I have to tap this for a pain. So yeah, okay. So I'm at 9. And oh, that's really good for me, actually. Let's attack here. They go to 4, and I go to 8, which I actively hate because that is exactly a 2-turn clock off of this. But I think I'm still relatively okay with considering the board I currently have, and they're off it. Sick. So let's check out everything, see how it went, and open our pity chest. All right, so we've played our 5 matches. We went 3-2, and honestly, y'all got to see firsthand a lot of why I never play Bant. This deck simply doesn't fucking like me. I don't really have a nicer way to put it, right? Like we had some very, very unfortunate mulls. We even went down to 3 against a discard deck in one game, so that tells you how this league went. But still managed to crawl out of it with a 3-2. So we got to beat up on what is typically not a great matchup in the mono white aggro deck, to the point where they got a little bit salty about it, so that's nice. We got to have some pretty good games in the matches we did lose. Like, Phoenix kind of had to get everything right in that game 3 to beat us, and, well, they had all the stuff, so it is what it is. And it just really took a lot to go wrong there. So this league could very, very easily have been a 5-0 if we just didn't have to do BS like mulligan down to literally 3 and 4 multiple times in this league. So it is what it is. As far as the deck's positioning, I actually think I like it, though. Again, our match against Phoenix, one of the most popular decks in the format, was really close. Like, we had a lot of the tools, we had some good stuff there, and if one of those early Arclight Phoenixes had been a Letter Shredder, our portable hole would have been turned on, and our game would probably have looked a lot better from there. Against Rakdos, we had all of the tools we needed to help beat that match, and just, stuff happens. So I'm pretty happy with that. As far as the sideboard's concerned, the Extraction Specialists were straight up amazing. Yeah, like, I've been very high on this card ever since I first saw it in a Spirits list. I think the Brazilian player Remph was the first to play it in any of the Spirits decks, and I think that was a great choice. Like, Extraction Specialist has performed so hard for me so many times that I've even considered playing just like blue-white with Curious Obsessions, just so I can play Portable Hole and Extraction Specialists out of the sideboard, because those cards have performed that level of well. As far as the rest of the sideboard, I like most of it. Like, the Remorseful Clerics, honestly, neither here nor there. Greasefang is annoying, and Phoenix is pretty good. So I think Remorseful Clerics are just, like, not bad, right? Mystical Dispute, I still, even after playing Mono Blue Spirits in round 1, don't think that more than one Mystical Dispute is really where I want to be in life currently. There's a lot of decks that just aren't trying to play blue cards. A lot of them are simply trying to play cards that are red and green. And to that effect, I did like the Aether Gusts there. The 2 Negates, love them. There were a lot of spots where if I had simply had one of my Negates, they would have been very, very, very good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this list is set up. And unfortunate luck aside, I really like the way this performed. So let's run up our chest. What do we get? Something good, I hope. No. Pretty terrible. What is this? Dragon Broodmother? Okay. And what are you? Some Throne of Eldraine card? Yeah, so that was pretty terrible. Still gonna open my chests every time, though. But that's gonna be a league, and yeah, it was fun. I got to fight back for some very, very, very difficult mulligans and things like that. So at least we got to see how persistent the deck can be when given the opportunity to fight for itself. So that at least is a really big upside of this deck that we got to see highlighted in this league. So, well, glad to have been able to show that to y'all. But that is going to be it for today. As always, if you like what you're watching, make sure to click like on the video. Let me know. Sub to the channel if you're new, and I'll see y'all on the next one.